Every now and then, the pursuit of internet fame leads some influencers into situations that end up taking a tragic turn, and when everything is recorded, those moments take on another dimension, leaving many people speechless. These are several stories of content creators who took things too far and ended up losing their lives, and that is exactly what you are going to see here today. So leave your like, click the subscribe button down below, and let's go. Mona Lisa Perez and Pedro Ruiz were always filming pranks and showing their day-to-day life in Hallstatt, Minnesota. They wanted to grow on YouTube, and according to friends, they had already done some lighter jokes. But in June of 2017, Pedro had an idea that he thought would be the riskiest video on the channel. He would hold a very thick book against his chest and ask Mona Lisa to shoot at close range, believing the pages would withstand the impact.
I may fail, but if I fail, I want to die trying. This is a 50 caliber Desert Eagle.
Mona Lisa, who at the time was 19 years old and pregnant with the couple's second child, told police she hesitated. Pedro insisted, saying he had tested it before and that everything would be fine. Nearly 30 people, including their young son, watched as she pulled the trigger. The shot went through the 15-centimeter book, hit Pedro, and the situation turned into a tragedy on the spot. Desperate, she called emergency services, saying she had injured her boyfriend during a recording. The case drew widespread attention, and months later, Mona Lisa pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter. In 2018, a judge ordered her to serve 6 months in detention, alternating 10 days in jail and 10 days at home, plus 10 years of probation. She was also permanently banned from having firearms and cannot make money by talking about the episode. The prosecutor said the idea had been entirely Pedro's, but that Mona Lisa trusted the wrong plan. The video never went live, but it left trauma for many people. Here, the story involves a photographer who was always chasing the next challenge. In May of 2013, Jacob Cockle went out to capture something he had wanted to try for a long time. The target was a spot known for forming whirlpools in the River Hale in Cornwall, England. Jacob grew up fascinated by water and wanted to turn that into a career. It worked for a while. He won awards, even appeared in major publications, and became more and more excited about chasing extreme scenes. The problem is that this pursuit had already put his life at risk. In 2008, during a heavy storm, he dove into the sea to record footage and ended up struggling among massive waves. News reports even captured the moment he clung to rocks while everything crashed around him until he was rescued. Even so, he did not slow down. He filmed dangerous jumps and received warnings from the police. What drew Jacob the most were whirlpools. From the outside, they look calm, but underneath they carry a force capable of pulling in even experienced swimmers. On the morning of the 28th, Jacob went to Carnso Pool accompanied by his friend David Rain. The idea was to film up close and then enter the center of the whirlpool, even using a horse mask to make the scene more eccentric. For 10 minutes, everything seemed under control. Jacob dove, reviewed the footage, and commented that the whirlpool was strong, but that he felt safe. Shortly after handing the camera to his friend, Jacob dove again and did not come back. David ran along the channel trying to find him until he saw him floating farther ahead. The whirlpool's force was greater than his experience. Jacob ended up dying, proving that nature does not tolerate disrespect. Nishu Deshwal, 22 years old, was known in India for doing tractor stunts. In a few years, he amassed more than 1 million followers and became a reference for that kind of content. He liked testing the limits of these huge machines and recorded almost everything. But in early March of 2024, a performance in Panipat went completely out of control. Nishu was with friends recording another live video. The idea was simple for anyone who followed his channel: lift the front of the tractor until it was almost standing up, in the position many people call a wheelie. In the footage, you can see the tractor rising, the rear wheels digging into soft ground, and the engine losing stability. The equipment ends up practically vertical. In seconds, the weight starts pulling everything backward. His friends screamed when they realized the tractor was tipping. Nishu was thrown to the ground and the vehicle flipped onto him. The massive machine collapsed with no protection capable of absorbing the impact. The young man died instantly. He had repeated that kind of stunt many times and always managed to finish without injuries. Precisely because of that, many followers began debating what could have gone wrong. Some believed the safety structure installed on the tractor could not handle the weight. Others commented that makeshift home-adapted parts may have failed. Nishu had a wife and a small child. The accident became a warning for those who follow creators who keep raising the stakes with dangerous challenges. Sometimes a scene that looks controlled can hide an enormous risk. The attempt to reach the famous 300 kilometers per hour became the last record of Agastya Chauhan's life. The creator of the Pro Biker 1000 channel, which had more than 1 million subscribers following his superbike trips, was riding on the Yamuna Expressway when he lost control of the Kawasaki Ninja. He was traveling from Agra to Delhi in India and was near the 47-kilometer marker when the bike hit a central divider and the fall became inevitable. Agastya was only 25 years old and was known for recording long routes and testing the bike's power on highways. This time, however, the impact was so severe that even the helmet split apart. Rescue teams arrived quickly, but he did not survive his injuries. The Tapal police took over the case and sent what was found to Kailash Hospital in Greater Noida, where an examination was conducted before the release to the family. Superintendent Kalanidhi Naitani confirmed the accident and reinforced the warning for anyone traveling in the region. Speeding puts any rider at risk, even the most experienced. The case hit the community that followed the channel hard. Many remembered that Agastya always talked about reaching high-speed marks, and that ended up becoming part of his online identity and the cause of his death. An attempt to create content ended tragically outside an adventure park in Nashville. Timothy Wilkes, 20 years old, had gone out to record another video for YouTube, this time a fake robbery prank. The idea was simple and dangerous. He and a friend would approach a group of people in the parking lot holding large knives just to capture their reactions. But nobody there had agreed to anything. Among the people was a 23-year-old man who, seeing two strangers advancing with blades in their hands, believed he was truly about to be attacked. He reacted with a gunshot, claiming self-defense. When police arrived, Wilkes was wounded, and the friend explained that everything was part of a video.
Check on what your children are doing. It needs to be awareness now that this is very dangerous.
Families were inside Urban Air, a park known for being good for children, while chaos unfolded in the parking lot. And the saddest part is that this kind of content was not uncommon on the platform. For years, videos of fake robberies, threats, and prop weapons got millions of views, even when many people did not realize a large portion was staged. Wilkes' case became yet another example of how a dangerous idea to go viral can spiral completely out of control. A simple warning to his grandmother was the last time anyone heard from Storm Deal. He said it was snowing heavily, but that he would be fine. Hours later, the 22-year-old adventurer was already fighting for his life in the frozen interior of Lapland in northern Sweden. Storm lived for this. He was reserved, preferred the solitude of trails, and found a purpose in the deep wilderness that he did not find in living around other people. At 19, he created the Storm Outdoorsy channel, where he recorded long solo journeys, camping in the cold without shelter, crossing forests, and turning isolation into a form of peace. No show, no fame, just him and nature. At the end of October of 2024, he began another solo expedition. The weather turned fast, temperatures dropped, and a heavy snowstorm swallowed the region where he was walking. Even so, he kept moving forward. In the early hours of October 29th, at 2 in the morning, he sent a distress call. He was injured and trying to reach his car several kilometers away. Rescue teams left immediately, but the weather was so severe that it was barely possible to see. The next day, Storm was found on the route between the campsite and the vehicle. According to the family, he likely lost the protection of the tent, fell, injured his face, and kept walking even with his legs frozen. After his death was confirmed, his channel became a memorial. His own parents left emotional messages in the comments, thanking people for the support and trying to explain who their son truly was. Storm sought silence, adventure, and freedom. He found all of that, but paid far too high a price. His story is a reminder that the wild is beautiful and relentless. The afternoon seemed ordinary on the tracks in Burbank, but it ended with a loss that left fans and family devastated. Greg Plitt, a fitness reality show star and a well-known figure for extreme training and intense motivation, was hit by a train while recording yet another video, something he often did to inspire his audience. Plitt was 37 years old, had a military background, a solid career, and a strong presence in the fitness world. He was used to pushing limits in front of cameras, and that included filming in dangerous places such as train tracks. On Saturday, a little after 4 in the afternoon, police received the call. A Metrolink train had struck a man during an unauthorized filming. According to investigators, Greg was with 2 people and was filming on the tracks when the train approached. The engineer saw the group, sounded the horn, and tried to brake, but the train could not stop in time. Witnesses say Greg did not react to the warning, and police believe he may have tripped or lost his balance in the final seconds. The railway confirmed that any filming requires authorization and a strict safety process, which did not happen that day. And to deepen the shock, Greg had already posted videos training on the tracks before, reinforcing his image as someone who lived intensely and treated risk as part of the routine. Friends say he was not reckless, just someone who demanded a lot from himself, but this time, a single mistake cost everything. The tragedy became a warning. Certain locations that look great for filming can be fatal, and there is no second chance when the train is already coming. The filming of a music video in Vernon, in the interior of British Columbia, Canada, ended in tragedy for the Canadian rapper John James McMurray. At 34, he was already known for mixing music with extreme stunts, always trying to push his videos to a bolder level. This time, however, the idea went beyond the limits of safety. John climbed onto the wing of a Cessna plane during the shoot. He had trained extensively for the challenge, according to his manager, and believed he had control of the situation. But when he walked out to the tip of the wing, the movement changed the aircraft's balance. The plane began to lose stability and entered a partial dive, forcing the pilot to fight to regain control. Meanwhile, John held onto the structure, trying to stay steady. That momentum became fatal. He waited too long to let go of the plane and could not deploy his parachute in time. When he finally fell, there was no longer enough altitude to open the equipment. The impact took his life right there, on the Saturday of the shoot. The pilot, despite the scare, managed to stabilize the aircraft and land safely. On social media, John had more than 17,000 followers and often shared snippets of his adventures, jumps, acrobatics, and challenges he described as insane. It was precisely this blend of music and adrenaline that fueled his career. His death made one point painfully clear, the same one he always challenged. Some risks leave no room for error, and that day, a single misstep was enough to end everything. In 2019, news shocked the YouTube community. Grant Thompson, creator of the King of Random channel, did not return from a paragliding outing in Utah and was found dead the next day. He was 38 years old and ran one of the platform's biggest experiment channels, with more than 11 million subscribers and billions of views. Grant went out to fly on Monday, something he did often. When he did not return, friends and family alerted authorities. The GPS he carried helped teams locate the exact point where the gear went down. There was no time for rescue. On Tuesday, his death was confirmed and shortly after, officially announced on the creator's Instagram. The public knew Grant for a mix of creativity and risk. He tested curious ideas, built unusual experiments, and sometimes risky ones, such as videos involving liquid nitrogen or improbable homemade inventions. That spirit made the channel so popular. At the same time, his life showed constant reinvention. He had been bullied at school, became a professional pilot, spent more than 10 years in the air, moved into real estate, and only then decided to film what he built in his backyard. After his death was confirmed, tributes flooded social media. Fans and other creators recalled his impact, including Logan Paul, who said he was devastated. In the official announcement itself, the team asked the public to practice an act of kindness in honor of the King of Random. Grant left an enormous legacy. His videos are still there, preserving the enthusiasm of someone who turned curiosity into fun and inspired millions to experiment with the world in a different way. The Lamrabati family vacation trip to Mallorca ended in tragedy. Murad Lamrabet, a former 31-year-old player who once played for Vitesse's under-23 team, decided to attempt a radical jump from a cliff of about 30 meters while his wife and 2 children watched from the boat below. The jump, known as a tombstone, is famous precisely because it is risky. Murad ran, jumped, and misjudged the distance. He hit a rock before falling into the water and lost consciousness immediately. His wife, filming the moment, screamed in despair as the impact was recorded in the 14-second video that soon went viral online. Rescue teams were called, and Spanish authorities performed an autopsy that confirmed the cause of death: drowning. According to investigators, Murad did not survive because he entered the water unconscious. The wife was not even able to give a statement given the severity of the trauma of having witnessed everything so closely. Murad had left professional soccer years earlier and worked as a kickboxing coach. The news shook his former club, which posted a condolence message for the striker, who had just turned 31. For the family, who was there simply to enjoy the vacation, it took only an instant for the trip to become the worst memory possible. This prank inside a busy shopping mall in Virginia, in the United States, ends with something nobody expected. The video that became public shows Tanner Cook, a 21-year-old content creator known for aggressive pranks, approaching a man who had just picked up food at the food court. The target was Alan Coley, 31, who is seen holding a meal bag while trying to go on his way. Tanner comes in filming up close, insisting, pushing the phone almost into the man's face. Coley tries to push the device away, but the YouTuber keeps pressing. In less than an instant, the situation turns into a confrontation. Coley reacts, pulls a gun, and fires. The shot hits Tanner, who immediately collapses. Luckily, he survived. Coley was arrested on the spot and taken to trial for aggravated malicious wounding, but the jury decided he was not guilty. In their view, the prank crossed the line, and Coley should not be held responsible for a defensive response. The decision split opinions. Tanner's mother left the courthouse saying she was simply grateful to have her son alive, while his father said the jury was wrong and that the video clearly showed there was no real risk to Coley. Online, the backlash was intense. Tanner was already known for pranks that annoyed many people, like walking around stores pretending to be security and accusing people of theft. Even after all this, Tanner says he will keep creating content. Don't forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.